It's like over 100 degrees outside, and Justin in his nice work attire and I had to load up the cherry picker to go get this HELLCAT engine out of the sketchy driveway, coolant leaking everywhere, and like all the neighbors were looking at us like we were stealing shit. Now we have a really nice low miles Trackhawk engine. I'm glad I brought Justin because he works out, as you can tell. Now we're gonna get back to the shop, get it apart, get it cleaned up, put some bolt-ons on it, and get it stuffed in the car. All right, here it is, 18,000 mile Hemi for the Cornet. We finally picked one up today. We've been trying for weeks to get one. Had a lot of scammers in the area, had a lot of maybe potential stolen engines. We didn't want none of that. We don't need that bad juju. This here came out of running, driving car, completely stock. Got the VIN number, got the paperwork from Copart. Everything is on the up and up, so ready to get this thing cleaned up. I think we're gonna do a cam, injectors, pulleys, basically what I have done to the old Trackhawk. See if we can make 1,000 wheel with the manual tranny on this thing, an 85. Holley Dominator setup. It should be pretty rowdy. I'm pumped just to do this swap. It's my first one, first HELLCAT swap. Ready to get the old Cornet smoking tires. We're back on the Cornet, bunch more metal work, and we got a buttload of parts to open up. So here we go.
Should have told the UPS guy to bring those all the way into the shop.
Not liable for damages.
It's not broken. Right.
As you all know by now, we are putting a HELLCAT motor in the Cornet. When I was devising this plan, I thought it'd be best to reach out to Holley, and boy was that a good choice. They offer everything, and they got it to us super quick. So I got this really nice fuel system. It should support about 800 to 1,000 wheel horsepower, which is our target. I got an oil pan that'll help us drop in this motor with our new cross member. It's a rear sump conversion. It's really nice. The transmission cross member for a new style transmission, whether it be a NAG one, T56, TR6060, any of those transmissions, they have a cross member for it. And then also a really low profile coolant crossover for the supercharger, so we won't interfere with the firewall. Not only did they have all that, but they had these really nice headers and exhaust system. I have not used one of these kits before, but I'm super excited to try it because these look like very, very, very well built parts. So that is what we got in our first shipment. As you all know, things trickle in with availability. So I think next we got the cooling system and the EFI stuff coming, so look forward to that. All right, everybody. I just got back from the JaxWax meet. It's like midnight, 1 in the morning. I don't even know what time it is. But I am working on the Cornet. First obstacle for me to tackle tonight is the Control Freaks front suspension. It's supposed to be basically a bolt-on kit, a little bit of cutting, a little bit of drilling, a little bit of bolting. So what I got so far is I got the K-member in. It's a pretty simple deal, actually. I mean, if the guy got down to it, he could probably build it if you know how to jig. But it's really nice, welds are good. I did have to pull my factory body frame rails in a little bit to get these saddles to fit, but as you can see, it's a nice tight fit. So I'll take and drill a hole. It's got a nut and through bolt provided with the kit. Only problem I'm having now is they sent me 2 of the same lower control arms. So this one here would be a passenger side control arm. The way I know that is that the sway bar hole is in the back, not in the front. I do have the passenger side roughly put together. I've been working on it for a little bit, just trying to get things, figure out the orientation of things. It's got color instructions, everything's pretty nice. One thing, I'm supposed to keep the factory upper bolts. I did not keep all of those, so I'm going to have to get some more cam bolts. So now I just got these bolted here temporarily. But it uses a Willwood Pro spindle. Looks like they already got their own bump steer set up on it because the ratchet does hang pretty low. That is the right configuration for the sway bar. So, like I said, I'm loosely bolting everything together. I'm waiting on the bare brakes to get here from Holley. Huge shout out to them. They're getting us hooked up with some brakes. We're test fitting everything. We will pull it back apart. We'll powder coat it. That's why I like all this stuff. I mean, none of it's tight. None of it's tight. It's all loose. But it's just a test fit. Make sure the wheels are going to clear. Make sure I don't have to do anything crazy there. And just get it to where we feel like we're making some progress here. I do have some pieces to weld in here. Once I get Kyle to clean up all this material. That's the inner fender brace that came with our subframe connectors. I got 2 of those put in. And a whole bunch. I mean, I got probably 3 nights worth of metal work here once I kind of get figured out where I'm going. But I'm tired of doing metal work, so I figured I'd do something more constructive and get the K-member and stuff test fit. So I can have Kyle pull it apart, strip it, powder coat it, put it back on, and be ready to go. So I'm gonna work on this other side. I'll kind of walk you guys through it. All right, so here on the table I have, which is nicely stamped at the left hand upper control arm. I did have to put these AFCO thread in, Mustang 2 style, ball joints in it. I got those in. These use an adjustable turnbuckle deal with some really nice offsets, and it will use the factory cam alignment bolts, so I'll get it rough with these, and then depending on how low I am, I'll have to bring them up more to get rid of the camber, but then we'll use the cam bolts to fine-tune the alignment once we're at the alignment rack. So I'm going to get this put up in there with my mock-up bolts, and then I'll show you guys putting the spindle on. Alright, so I got this driver side upper control arm in. Like I said, these are just mock-up bolts. This is what the factory cam bolt looks like, so I have 2 of the 4 of these. Basically what it does is it allows that to shift, to offset the alignment. A lot of these old cars didn't have these. A lot of the new cars have these, but the old cars didn't have those. They're a really good design. Makes it much easier than using shims and crap. So, yeah, and I got the ball joint in. I'll put the spindle on next. I will note that we are going to, or are supposed to move all these factory bump stops. I trimmed it enough to get the K-member up, but I'm gonna have Kyle come through and cut those off. That's just kind of work for Kyle to do, busy work. He's really good at just grinding and cutting and doing that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna get the spindle up on here. It's a real easy deal, and then I'll put the steering arm on it, and then I'm going to modify the rack and pinion and get it up in here. All right, that bad boy's on there. Literally taking like 2 minutes. This boot just needs to come down. I just pushed it on too far, so that boot is like collapsed. But we got to put this back together correctly. We'll have a grease certs on both of them. We'll have the boots sealed, and then we'll pump it full of grease. That way they don't go dry on us. Put the steering arm on, and then I'm gonna change the bushings in the rack. It's about 3 in the morning. I am wrapping this bad boy up for the night. I got really far. K-members in, sway bars in, rack and pinions in, control arms are in. All test fit. Today I got the grill just kind of test fit up in there, just sitting on there. I got the bumper on. I'm gonna get some aged carriage bolts for that, no big deal. Got some really cool retro bright headlights coming from Holley. Can't wait for those to get here. You know, as you can see, we got a really
Empty engine bay, waiting for a big old HELLCAT motor. So we already got the Gen 3 Hemi mounts. The kit came with the mount adapters. Then we got the bushings and the bolt kit. So pretty pumped about all that. This thing's really coming together. Some of these parts were harder to find than others. You just got to dig deep. So I'm super excited for this car. Like I said, I think I got about 3 nights worth of metal work and finish work on the bottom side. But we're waiting on parts, so it's busy work while we're waiting on parts. You know, this thing is super cool, super cool car. Obviously I don't have the wheels on this side because I don't even have the tires mounted up on it yet, so. But that's it for now. Stacy, I hope this wasn't too hard to edit. I hope this is a good video for you. And by the way, I think you're amazing.
All right, so now that I have all the metal work in, man, there was a lot of work. We are gonna coat the inside and the underside with the sweet patina stuff, and we're gonna get our suspension and rear end finally installed. So tune in next week to check the progress.